I want you to, in this moment, imagine this incredible thing. So imagine you're in the border of a cliff and you're facing a great abyss. You're facing a great hole, a hole that it's obviously scary because you're in the almost edge of the cliff. And imagine that that cliff is all your fears. All your fears that are holding you back to that abyss, to that hole that represent in this moment is going to represent the infinity of you achieving anything you want in life, the infinity of you getting to those goals, of you getting to everything you have ever wanted. So would you jump or would you stay away because of your fear? So in this moment, I want you to ask this question. Would you let those fears retain you from going to this incredible, infinite universe of possibilities? I think that the answer, although it would be incredibly scary, is that we should jump. We should jump to that abyss of incredible possibilities so that we start developing our dreams, so that we start living what we really want to live. So basically today's master class is about fears. It's about how fears limit our mind, how those fears of infinite amount of fears we face day by day are basically limiting our minds. Because that's what fears are right now. We're gonna see a little bit about how fears benefited us in the past, how they were a really useful tool, but nowadays they come to limit us, they come to sustain us, to not go for our goals and don't take those first steps towards achieving what we really want to achieve. So first, I want you to talk about the psychology of fear. So our main topic is fears. So we're gonna talk about first about the psychology of fears. So I want you to think on the past when we were primitive thinkers, when we were primitive animals basically, and fear was a key element for our supervivience, for our life basically. So when we were facing danger, our mind and our body put in a flight to fight response, and then we were wrong, we would save ourselves, and that's where fear appears to be beneficial. Nowadays that we basically aren't facing that much danger, aren't facing that much primitive, basically danger. Now the danger that we're facing is a subjective danger, an ambiguous danger that for someone it could be, oh my god, no, really scary, but you're not really in danger. In something as simple as, for example, speaking in public. So you're gonna speak in public, what your mind starts doing is put you also in a fight or flight response in which you just want to run away, in which your heart starts beating so fast, in which you cannot think clearly, in which your breath starts going really fast, and you cannot do anything, you cannot think, you cannot express your ideas clearly. And when you cannot do these basic things, that's where a lot of problematics, a lot of limitations come to our minds. So basically that's where in the past it was really beneficial, but nowadays it is really ambiguous. We're not facing the real danger our mind thinks we're facing, and you will think, okay, I face a lot of fears. We all in our lifetimes, we face a lot of fears, but how can we overcome those incredible fears? So today I will share with you those 3 key aspects that will help you to first improve the way in which you perceive those fears, because basically fears are like guests that basically enter to your home, enter to your mind, and you cannot you cannot avoid those thoughts, you cannot avoid those feelings, but one thing you can do is manage it. So the first step towards changing those perspectives about fears is reframing the fear. So changing how you observe the fear, how you perceive the fear, and how you interpret the fear, so that it doesn't affect you in such a way that it limits you, but that you can really have control of your thoughts, because your fears are just thoughts, and you're the owner of your thoughts. You're the owner of everything you think, and you can change those perspective of thoughts. So the first step towards living without fear is reframing the fear. So reframing the fear says is basically changing the perspective, how you approach that fears, so that it doesn't limit you. So how can you reframe this fear? Whenever, I don't know, you're gonna speak in public, or whenever you're facing, I don't know, your crush, or whenever you're doing whatever thing that scares you a lot, you're gonna start reframing that thoughts. And whenever you start feeling those heart rates to go up higher, those breathing to go higher, you're gonna be conscious of that, and you're gonna be conscious that you're feeling this immense emotion, this immense sensation. And when you're conscious that you're feeling that, that's the first step towards change. Being conscious that you're living that, you feel it, and you're conscious that you're living that. And by being conscious, now you're gonna have control of those thoughts, because when you're conscious of something, now you have the ability to control it. So you're gonna start thinking, oh my God, I have fear. I'm feeling fear in this moment, but now that I'm conscious, I know that I can control it. The same as I feel it, I can control it. So the second step towards this incredible change is exposing yourself to that fear. Our mind is an incredible adaptive organ, which is constantly adapting towards exposure, basically, towards experiences. Every time that we experience one thing, our mind is developing. Like, we can take the example of when we practice something. So facing fear is also something that you can start practicing. And by practicing anything in life, you're gonna master that skill. So when you're practicing, second is exposure. So I'm gonna write it here. Where you little by little are gonna start exposing yourself towards that fear. So you want yourself to face more that fear. I know it is not gonna be easy. It is not gonna be an easy task to go and speak in public. It is not gonna be an easy task to, I don't know, drive a car or things that scares you. But I know that if you start facing those fears, that if you start facing all that thing that scares you, just little by little, you're gonna start training your mind in a way that you're gonna start feeling day by day. Every time that you face more that fear, you're gonna start feeling more comfortable with it. And when you start feeling more comfortable with it, is where you're gonna start advancing towards a life without fear. So that's the second step. Start exposing your mind and yourself towards more fearing experiences, so that your mind starts training and becoming better on knowing how to manage those states of mind. And the third one, I know that I've came with a lot of this solution that I'm gonna say in this moment. I have told it in a lot of other videos, but I also know that it's a key solution for a lot of aspects in our minds. And the third step is visualization. So third, visualization. So the third step is visualization. So at the same time that you're exposing yourself towards these scary experiences, you're also gonna start visualizing those experiences, and you're gonna start exposing yourself, but mentally. So you're gonna stay here, you're gonna close your eyes, and you're gonna imagine those situations that scares you, where fear appears, and you're gonna imagine how it would feel. How would you feel scary? but also you're gonna start thinking on a good outcome. So how can, while facing those experiences, end up with a great outcome? And that is gonna program your mind to subconsciously say, okay, while it is uncomfortable to approach to that fear, is also a great experience, and it will have an incredible reward. And when we give our minds that reward, that kind of reward, our mind is gonna want to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And when our mind is gonna want to repeat those feelings, then it is gonna want more of those experiences. So for example, if you want to speak more in public, you're gonna visualize you speaking in public, speaking to incredible amount of people, to how you express your idea, and it's gonna feel scary at first. But when you imagine also the reward, how it could benefit yourself, how it can be that great, is where your mind is gonna say, okay, it's not that bad. It's actually a good experience. When your mind says that, then fear is gonna start going slower and fewer and fewer and fewer. So yeah, that's basically the points of today, the 3 points of today. So you have to start reframing that structure, reframing how you approach to that fear. The second is you're gonna start exposing yourself to that fear. You're gonna start experiencing more and more and more, so that your mind starts training how to manage that fear. And the third one is visualization. So you're not gonna start exposing yourself only physically, but also mentally, because mindset is a key part of everyone's lives. And when you start exposing yourself mentally, you can also modify the outcome of whatever you're doing. So when you start visualizing and you visualize a great outcome about that fearful experience, then your mind is going to start wanting more fear, wanting more incredible experience, and your fear rate is going to go lower and lower and lower. So those are the 3 elements, and my message for today is that don't let those fears, don't let those emotions limit yourself. You have infinite amount of capabilities here in your mind. You're capable of anything. So don't let those fears, those sensations limit yourself. Don't let them put those infinite state of being that you have right here to limit yourself, because you can do whatever you want. You really can do whatever you want. So start changing your approach to fear, start exposing yourself more to fear, and you're gonna really have a change in your life.